Life goes on, eh?
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society.
You're in violation of secure communication procedures, Commodore.
So we just went ahead and fixed the glitch.
There is no America. There is no democracy.
Our fifth objective, a new world order.
There are no nations. There are no peoples. There are no Russians. There are no Arabs. There are no third worlds. There is no West.
Right-wing conspiracy.
What do you call it when the assassins accuse the assassin?
A new world order.
Thank you for plugging in to the Stones Unturned podcast.
Well, just a second there, Professor. We fixed the glitch.
I'm your host, Professor Thomas Henry Horan.
He reads everything.
Oh, you better bet your bippies he reads everything. Hello and welcome back, you magnificent betards. If you were... Oh, who feels like a chump now? If you were watching the incredible members-only live stream last night, you may be aware that you may not be aware that we experienced technical difficulties. That's just as well. I got off on a tangent that you're not ready for. So I figured today I would get you ready for it. But then the good news broke. I actually felt guilty. I actually felt a little bit guilty about picking on poor Savannah Guthrie. But hey, it's true what they say. In every cloud, you'll find a silver lining. She's going to host a game show. If you know anything about this broad. Listen, don't get the wrong idea. Don't get the wrong idea. Been holding this secret for a long time. Well, 3 months and a few days, maybe. 3.5 months, maybe. Is this... Where's... The show must go on. Well, see, here's the thing, Alpine. You haven't seen the rest of the... You haven't seen the punchline. You have not seen the punchline. I actually felt bad until now. How long? How long has she been keeping this a secret? Oh, with Jimmy Fallon. We've been holding this secret between us for a long time now. If you know anything about her, you would know how funny this is. Because I had foolishly wasted your time, not to mention money, cracking the case of the so-called disappearance of her mother. Unbelievable. 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 Do you know anything about her? If you know anything about her, and we'll go back, I will go over previously plowed ground. I thought I have to fix last night's debacle. Well, if only Mom could see you now. Well, you can't listen. You can't let a little thing like this stand between you and your dreams. Been holding this a secret for a long time now. Well, which chicken came first, the egg or the thing? You know what I mean? When, what? How long exactly? a game show. If you know anything about her, what a game show. And I'm just so happy to see that, it's been, it's been an up and down year. Let's be honest. I was going to show you. I figured I made a major discovery. Now, if you were watching the pregame yesterday, before it went members only, you saw an amazing discovery happen on live YouTube. There was a frame of a video of the perfect crime. Now, no, not this one. Ladies and gentlemen, etc., you are about to witness the perfect crime. Brace yourselves. Rico Suave is committing the perfect crime for your edification. Now, a lot of people have pointed out that he seems to be stepping around the bloodstains on the porch. I don't know about a lot of people. One of you people pointed it out to me. Who was it? One of you people pointed it out to me. I need to keep an eye on that meter. One of you pointed it out to me. It looks like he is stepping around the bloodstains, like they're already there. So last night I showed you something like this. No, it wasn't that. Like, I freeze framed it like one frame too early. Because if you go one more frame, because we could barely see him, like maybe stepping in something, right? Or not stepping in something, right there. Okay, so anyway, this is the perfect crime. So according to the official narrative, this happened before he broke in the house and slugged it out with the old lady. And she went crawling down the front porch, coughing up blood as a result of all of this. And he did all of this first. According to Google, who a week after, okay, here's the thing you have to understand. By a lucky coincidence, this guy's video would not have been saved if he hadn't been so stupid. This guy committed the perfect crime. I'm just going to say this over and over because they have no clue. Even though he looks exactly like the son-in-law and moves exactly like the son-in-law, and the son-in-law is a science teacher, a biology science teacher. He's dissected lots of dead animals. Probably vivisected lots of dead animals. Now, here's the thing. You don't see the blood stains in this video because this is infrared night vision. Now, here's the thing. They canceled her Nest subscription or let it lapse. You can read that any way you like. They either canceled it or let it lapse. This doorbell camera was no longer connected to Nest, and neither were the other security cameras. The outdoor cameras are no longer connected to Google's Nest. Well, they were connected. That's the point. Once you have a Google Nest subscription, it records videos. If you want to watch the videos yourself, you have to pay. If you aren't paying for a subscription, then all video clips are marked for auto deletion. Okay? But this one was saved, and their subscription lapsed supposedly at midnight on New Year's Eve. This is the wee hours, 1:47 a.m., supposedly. We don't see a time and date stamp on the video itself. If you do not have a paid subscription, if the camera detects it's being tampered with, like this guy does, at the end of this video, he pulls it off the wall and then disconnects it from power. If the system detects something like that happening, the last clip is saved for 30 days, whether you pay for a subscription or not, in case you or your insurance company or the cops want to see it. This was not shown to the public till about February the 9th or so, 7 days after. Okay, what happens originally on February 1st, the news goes out, Savannah Guthrie's mother is missing and presumably having a medical emergency. And this goes on all day and all evening of February 1st. Savannah Guthrie calls her friend, Senator Mark Kelly, gets on a plane, flies home to Tucson. She grew up there. Well, went to high school there. She was born in Australia. That matters a lot to what I'm going to show you later. Okay? So, oh, Jesus. Do I have to recap this? So, that's because police got a call around 11:45 a.m. Sunday morning, February 1st, saying, my mother's missing. We went to the house and my mother's missing. And the cops show up and they tell the cops that the garage door was open. Well, the cops say that the garage door was open and the front door was left ajar. Okay, slightly ajar. This is all we know. There's nothing about blood stains, and the alerts go out that she's missing and probably having a medical emergency. Well, the next day, the narrative changes because TMZ gets a ransom note. TMZ gets a ransom email, a very shoddy, very unbelievable one. TMZ gets a ransom email. TMZ gets a ransom email. This changes the narrative. This is on February 2nd. On February 3rd, an unnamed source will claim that police found the back door, that there had been signs of forced entry, and this is supposedly at the back door. This changes the narrative. We've gone from a missing old geezer to a kidnapped old geezer. Then it comes out that there were bloodstains found on the porch and that this blood matched Nancy's blood. Then on February 9th, this video is released. And this video, although not timestamped on here, had been retrieved by Google, but Google didn't want people to know about this policy. Google's going through a very hard time with Congress right now and a lot of other governments over privacy concerns. Remember, there was a big scandal over the existence of this video. But this video is important because a ransom email sent to TMZ is not believable. Everybody knew that was a hoax. Everybody knew that was a hoax. But why would you send it to TMZ? The only reason you would send it to TMZ is if you wanted to change the narrative. Now, there's a story that appeared for one day that said that the back door had been pried open. But then the news comes out that the other cameras on the property were working. They were working before the night of the disappearance. They were working the day after. There are pictures of law enforcement working the grounds. There are no pictures of Rico Suave here breaking in the back door. So there's a theory now that he used some kind of jammer to jam the cameras. Well, why didn't he use it on this? The whole point is, first the phony ransom email to TMZ, then the planted news story. And remember, Savannah Guthrie is a major TV journalist, right? And Mark Kelly, very publicly active senator, opponent of Donald Trump, God bless him. And you can, and the thing is, they could have planted that story. Because it wasn't a police source. A source close to the investigation, well, that would be a member of the family, right? The problem is the surveillance cameras say, and then the other thing is, it doesn't look like the back door was broken into. Here are all those blood stains. Now, if they thought she'd been abducted and there'd been a break-in, there was no crime scene tape around the house. There was nobody watching the house. On February 4th or 5th or something, a TV news crew just pulled up to the house and shot this footage. And you can, in the footage, you can see an Amazon package on the porch. So the Amazon driver hadn't been stopped either. I think 72 hours went by. There was nobody watching the house because cops didn't think there was a disappearance. Well, this, what I showed you last night, if you go one more frame, you see how brightly lit that son of a gun is? Look at that. That explains this. You see that red blood right there? There's another slide. Why can't the fuck? Anyway, that fresh red blood, I had it circled. You see this dark dried blood? It dried as it was. Somebody stepped in some fresher blood and left this. Where could they step it in? Well, this fabric doormat would have held blood in liquid form for a few more hours, longer than this blood was there. If that video is for real, and it would be difficult to make somebody at Google fake the metadata on that video. If that video and their system would have automatically recorded that last video, did Dingleberry know that? This thing was supposedly planned. Well, here's the problem. When you see him step on that tile in this frame, you see the far edge of his shoe because he's been standing on that mat. Were you watching the video? I'll play it one more time. I'll pause it. Now watch him. He does, son of a gun, he does look like he is avoiding the bloodstains. Watch. He's avoiding the bloodstains. Now he's standing on the mat because he doesn't see the bloodstains on the mat. Now he's picking up blood on his shoe from standing on the mat. Now as he turns to go that way, look. So it does look like somebody tracked through some fresher blood on the mat and then left it, and their shoe did not smear these other blood drops because they had dried. This implies on a chilly evening in Tucson at 1 o'clock in the morning, this implies that that video footage was shot 3 to 4 hours after the blood had been spilled. That's just about the time that the son-in-law said he took the mother-in-law home. That video was supposed to be before he broke in the house. Supposedly he disabled the camera so he could break into the house. Well, why were there bloodstains on the porch? Now, I know what you're saying. Why don't we see the bloodstains? Because this is an infrared camera view, and blood has the same reflectivity as the iron oxide and the terracotta tiles in the brickwork. See how bright the tiles and the brickwork are in the night vision? Blood would be the exact same color. Well, that's where last night's show ended. Well, I took a closer look. You see this? I went a few frames further. Do you see where he's blocking two lights? And there's a lot less glare on that tile. Do you see those blood drops right there? Do you see those blood drops right there? Would the professor ever tell you a lie? No, he would not. That blood was already there before Dingleberry Suave here made this phony fucking video. He had 4 hours to figure out what to do. He had 4 hours to log in to the Family Nest subscription and realize it had expired, and the video clips of Grandma collapsing on the front steps had not been saved. Or maybe he didn't know that. Because if he hadn't taken the camera off the wall, they never would have recovered this video. And this video shows he went there. He had 4 hours. They live 5 minutes away. He had 4 hours to go home, change clothes, come back, figure out what to do with Grandma's body, blah, 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 put the phone in the house, blah, blah, blah. He had 4 hours to figure out what to do. And then right before he left, he made this phony video. See, you're looking at it from two different perspectives, so there's a slight perspective shift. See that? That blood was already there. I was right. And that puts the time of this bullshit much closer to 11 p.m. than 2:30 a.m. This happened around 11 to 12. So why not 11 or between 10 and between 10 and 12 at the very, very latest was 12 o'clock. She was prone to this. She was on a pacemaker, taking blood thinners, and she'd been taking some powerful anti-inflammatories because her back was killing her. They were trying to debate whether to give this 84-year-old pacemaker patient back surgery or not. Interesting. Well, I'm glad you got your money's worth tonight, Alpine. Please, please, please do not smother me with compliments. Whatever you do, damned with faint praise. I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you what happened. What happened was, this is not what happened. Now, these blood drops are not to scale yet. This is not what happened. She did not flee her attacker and hit the sidewalk, coughing up blood, and then crawl her way down the sidewalk and him intercept her or her collapse or whatever. That's not what happened. What happened was, you see this? He didn't drop her off at the garage. That's out of his way. Dropping her off back here at the garage door, which is over here to the upper right. Can you see that? He didn't drop her off there. He pulled right straight in. The Uber driver picked her up in front of the front door. So she went back inside through the front door. And he either was too lazy to drag his fat ass out of the car to help her up the steps, and she stumbled and fell into that handrail or fell on those steps. And he, well, you okay? You okay? You okay? And then he maybe got up the sidewalk, and then by the time she got to the porch, the blood's starting to come out. And by the time she got to the door, she's coughing up blood. Are you with me? So what? Thanks, Alpine. That's much better. Put that wherever you want it. He could have put her anywhere. He had all night. So what? So you need to get plugged into the Stones Unturned podcast, because not only am I going to fill in the blanks from last night in 5 minutes, but there's a lot more. This is just the tip of the iceberg of how phony this bullshit is. Why would these people hoax something like this? Are they the kind of people who could? Are they the kind of people who would? And why would they? Well, get plugged into the Stones Unturned podcast and find out, because the bullshit I showed you, is just the tip of the bullshit iceberg. I need to think of something to say. We have 5 minutes. It's all about change. Oh, I mentioned this already. It's all about changing the narrative. I know. Can you see me? Yes, you can see me. The Zodiac Killer letters were about changing the narrative. That's why he wrote to the newspapers and not the police or the families. He wrote to the newspapers to change the narrative. The Son of Sam letters were written, at least one letter written to the newspapers to change the narrative. The phony baloney, blood-stained writing on the walls, the evidence tampering at the Tate LaBianca murder scenes was to change the narrative. The Satanic Panic is to change the narrative. What else? Ransom notes. JonBenet Ramsey. The ransom note is intended to change the narrative. Extortion, these extortion threats, they always come in, they're always bullshit, but the newspapers love them, and it's to change the narrative. It's all about changing the narrative. The zodiac letters were a hoax, but they weren't a prank. The purpose of the letters was to change the narrative. The purpose of that ransom note to TMZ, or maybe they got lucky. This family has gotten lucky a lot. They make their own luck. They do. Nancy makes her own luck. Nancy puts her siblings in the shade. Nancy has a game show. Annie has a book of poetry that came out 10 years ago. Oracular poetry. Qui bono, Alpine, qui bono, who benefito? Who gets the gravy? So many motives, you haven't seen anything yet. I didn't know when it cut out last night. I don't know when the audio cut out. Luck is the residue of design. There you go. Or as the great Jack Nicklaus said, the more I practice, the luckier I get. We got 2 minutes to go. I got to fill 2 minutes. He wouldn't say it that loud. That was as loud as he would scream. And he would be outside the booth doing that. I had to fill in for the newscaster wasn't there, so he throws me in the chair. He goes, go. I'm starting to read the news. He goes, do your act. Because Union Shop, I can't read the news. I was supposed to do my act. Sitting at the news anchor's desk, I was supposed to do my act. And the news anchor, he came in a few seconds later. He'd been covering a very important story. The station manager threw me in the chair because I was in show business. Don't read the news. Do your act. He was the stereotypical station manager who was just frantic because the airwaves never sleep. Dead air is you lose your license. If you're on the air, even if you're not 24 hours a day, if you're not on the air when you're supposed to be on the air, you can lose your license. They'll give it to somebody who will use it. I guess we have another minute to go. Imagine what you get when you pay for it. You will not believe. All I can say is, I thought maybe Savannah would want to know this break in the case,